Bill O'Reilly here. You are listening to the O'Reilly Update. Coming up next, the news with Mike Slater.
Thank you, Bill. Happy Monday. It is April 3rd, 2023. Here's what's happening today in America. Cameras in the courtroom. A federal judge blocks a Tennessee law. NBA players getting high. And a vat of chocolate saves a life. All that coming up, and then Bill will be here with the message of the day. But first, New York plans to close a bunch of streets in Manhattan for Donald Trump as he appears in court on Tuesday to be arraigned. Trump, of course, is the first U.S. president to be indicted, and as we've talked about before, on the most phony baloney charges you could imagine. But alas, here we are. Trump wrote on Truth Social, what kind of person can charge another person, in this case a former president of the United States, and also know that potential death and destruction in such a false charge could be catastrophic for our country. Why and who would do such a thing? Only a degenerate psychopath that truly hates the USA. Do you think there should be cameras in the courtroom? Tennessee recently passed a law that bans drag shows taking place where they could be seen by children. Seems normal enough. Amazing that this would even need to be a thing that would ever even need to be said. We've gone through all of American history without there ever being drag shows for children, but now there are. So Tennessee wanted to ban them. Well, a federal judge blocked the law the day before it was to go into effect, saying it was, quote, both vague and overly broad. Meanwhile, the Build-A-Bear Workshop has a new RuPaul-inspired drag queen bear that your child can stuff, because why not? The NBA Players Association reached a new labor agreement. Part of it is no longer penalizing players who test positive for marijuana. And actually, they don't even test it anymore. The NBA commissioner said, we decided that given all the things that are happening in society, given all the pressures and stress that players were under, we did not need to act as Big Brother right now. The normalization of marijuana continues. The next big thing to be normalized is microdosing on mushrooms. Just wait for it. All you're going to hear about is how healthy and natural this is. There was a chocolate factory in West Reading, Pennsylvania, and some employees smelled natural gas. Well, they told a supervisor who said, a higher up is going to have to make the call to evacuate the building or not. Well, 30 minutes later, the building exploded. A woman's arm caught on fire in the explosion. And she had enough time to think, why am I going to die such a horrible death? And she asked God to save her. So she ran and the floor under her collapsed and she landed in a vat of melted chocolate, which depending on how hot it is, you'd think that'd be kind of dangerous too. Dangerous, but delicious. And she survived. I'm Mike Slater from the podcast Politics by Faith. Bill O'Reilly with the message of the day. Next.
The chairman of the Fed is promising more pain ahead. Last year, stocks dropped 20%, and this year could be worse. You are right to be worried. So please call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They'll show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. Since I have been a client and spokesperson, the price of gold has appreciated more than 35%. So please call today and they'll have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA or 401k. Tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $5,000 of free silver on your first order. Please call 877-444-GOLD, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD GOLD to 65532. Again, 877-444-GOLD, or text GOLD to 65532. Time now for the O'Reilly Update message of the day. On this Monday, it's the beginning of Holy Week around the world and in the USA, as we are part of the global community, as they say. But Holy Week here is not what it used to be, okay? Because the rise of atheists and agnostics and the decline of organized religion in America, we talked about it earlier this week, particularly among younger Americans, is very pronounced. So a lot of people don't even know that Thursday is Passover, then Good Friday, then Easter Sunday. You do a little quiz, go out, or if you see some friends or anything like that, you say, hey, what's Friday? What's Thursday? You know, a lot of people don't know. Now, I'm not judging anybody who doesn't believe. I'm not going to do that because that's not my job. That job goes to somebody a lot smarter than I am. But as I said earlier this week, it's not a good thing that right and wrong and theology, if the theology is Judeo-Christian and even Muslim, I mean, they perverted the Islamic religion, terrorists have. But, if you study it, there are some sketchy parts of the Quran, no doubt about it, and there are sketchy parts of the Old Testament too. But theology, a belief in something higher than yourself and a standard of behavior that helps other people, is a good thing for you, everyone around you, and your country. I'm Bill O'Reilly. I approve the message by writing it. You can reach me, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, Bill at BillO'Reilly.com, name and town if you wish to opine. Now let's go to the mail. Rod Saunders, I'm a conservative, but don't understand why anyone would have an assault weapon other than law enforcement. The hunters in Montana and Wyoming can do fine with non-assault rifles. I support a national ban on assault weapons. I don't. I think it's a state-by-state issue, but I want rigorous registration for these assault weapons. You can have them, but you got to be trained, and the states, individual states, need to know where they are. I think that's fair. Joseph Molinelli, Quogue, Long Island. Hey, Bill, America agrees with you on the federal gun law, but can you tell us why they don't make gun crimes federal crimes? Because the Democrats don't care about the issue, particularly inner city crime with guns. They don't care. And Republicans are too afraid of the NRA and the gun lobby. That's why nothing gets done. Hugh Novak, can you explain, O'Reilly, why you think Kari Lake is so divisive? Just Google Kari Lake statements, Hugh. That's all you got to do. You can read them for yourself. I don't have to do that. Mike Malone, Aberdeen, Washington. Mr. O'Reilly, would you consider looking into the impending demise of Social Security in 9 years? Look, this is all propaganda. Sooner or later, probably later, the United States is going to have to raise the retirement age for Social Security and Medicare. They'll have to do it. Just like France, 2 years up. But those over, say, 55 now, they're not going to be affected by anything like that. It'll be the younger people. In a moment, something you might not know. If you own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles and have an auto warranty about to expire or have no warranty at all, listen up. Car Shield has a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that's now available to the public. Save on out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. So please call Car Shield now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. 800-925-7584 for a free quote. This protection plan is at an all-time low in price. Drivers who activate the vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. So please call for your free quote, 800-925-7584, 800-925-7584. Hey, what do you have to lose? 800-925-7584. Now the O'Reilly Update brings you something you might not know. 141 years ago today, America's most famous outlaw was shot dead by his own accomplice. The killing ended a 16-year run of murder, robbery, and terror throughout the Midwest. Here is the story of Jesse James. James was born in Clay County, Missouri, September 1847. His older brother Frank fought for the Confederacy in the Civil War, Jesse himself too young to enlist. In 1864, the skinny 16-year-old joined a bloodthirsty militia led by Bloody Bill Anderson. They terrorized pro-Union sympathizers throughout the heartland. Jesse James quickly gained notoriety across the Great Plains for his good looks and penchant for killing. After the Civil War, he earned a living by robbing people, blackmailing people, and extorting them. Southern newspapers sympathized with Jesse James as a modern-day Robin Hood. Sheltered by Confederate sympathizers, he eluded authorities again and again. Over the next couple of years, the James brothers robbed dozens of banks in western Missouri. By the late 1870s, the group kept a relatively low profile. But one by one, members of the James gang were either captured or killed. After spending a few years farming, Jesse tried to organize a new gang, including local gunslingers Charlie and Robert Ford. After a routine squabble, the brothers decided to kill Jesse James for the reward money. On April 3rd, 1882, while Jesse's mother made breakfast in the next room, Robert Ford shot Jesse James in the head. He died instantly. Ford was paid $10,000 by the governor of Missouri. That's $300,000 in today's currency. And here's something else you might not know. Each year, thousands of Americans travel to Kansas City to visit the grave of Jesse James. His tombstone reads, "Here lies Jesse James, died April 3rd, 1882, age 34. He was murdered by a traitor and a coward whose name is not worthy to appear here." Back after this.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention veterans, active duty military, civilians, and contractors. If you were issued earplugs between 1999 and 2015 and were diagnosed with hearing loss or ringing in the ears, you may be entitled to compensation. The manufacturer of these military earplugs recently paid $9.1 million to resolve claims that their earplugs were defective, potentially exposing service members to damaging sound levels that could have resulted in hearing loss or tinnitus. If you or a loved one were issued earplugs and were diagnosed with tinnitus or hearing loss, don't wait. You fought for this country, and our attorneys want to fight for you. Call 800-687-1936 now for a free legal consultation and to see if you may be eligible to file a claim. Time restrictions may apply, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. So call 800-687-1936 now. Again, 800-687-1936. That's 800-687-1936.
Thank you for listening to the O'Reilly Update. I am Bill O'Reilly. No spin, just facts, and always looking out for you.